Green flags wave at the back, which means we're about to go. The Union Jack is dropped, rocketing through from the second row came the blue ERA, and that is Nick Topliss in the ex-Pat Fairfield car. He came through absolutely superbly and takes the lead. He rockets away. He's round Mangewick corner. Lockie's behind. Gillies is in third place. Dowling's fourth. David Morris looks like he's in fifth place in the silver ERA at this point. And a gap back to Tom Dark in the Bugatti. But it was Nick Topliss in this ex-Pat Fairfield car, the car that won the South African Grand Prix back in the 1930s. Which leads the way, but he's under attack from the silver Maserati, Bruce.
Yeah, Lockie carried far more momentum through forward water, closed in, went wide at St Mary's, and now it's Mark Gillies who's getting in on the act. He's going around the outside of the silver Maserati as they get to Lavant, and Lockie's going to rue the fact that he blew that move at St Mary's.
Wide, didn't he, as a result?
He's wide, and he's wide again at Lavant. That won't help him carry the momentum onto the Lavant straight. So the order has shaken up very much, and Duncan Ricketts appears to have made a good start, picked up 2 or 3 places, running in about 7th.
Yes, in the low line, the metallic green ERA Grand Prix car. But yes, it's ERAs then 1 and 2. The Bugatti's dropped back into the pack. Mark Gillies is working hard to rest the lead. He's just out of my sight at the moment. It's still Nick Topliss who leads the way. I notice there's quite a lot of damp patches still on the circuit, which is going to make things tricky while they get going. But it's Nick Topliss who leads over the line for the first time. Mark Gillies settling in second place. Mark Gillies, a regular winner here over the years. Not only in this car, but in the Cooper T53 as well. He's a 5-time winner. And he takes the lead down into Ford Water. The change of lead, Bruce, at Ford Water.
Certainly is, and again, Callum Lockie in the Maserati has more speed through Ford Water, and he's closing in now on that fast-starting Nick Topliss. But Mark Gillies, we've seen this before, and it's happening again, pulling away at the front. You talked about the damp patches. On the racing line, it's fine, but offline it isn't, and that's what Lockie found last time when he came to St Mary's. He's staying more on the racing line as he gets right onto the tail of Nick Topliss. It seems so agile, that little 6CM Maserati. Up the inside in the first part of Lavant goes Callum Lockie in number 27, but fighting back, Nick Topliss has more speed through the corner. What a great race.
It is indeed, and Paddens Dowling struggled during that first lap. He's down in 10th place at the end of the first lap. He qualified 3rd, but there's the change, and it's the Maserati now up into 2nd place, chasing after the green ERA. Callum Lockie then in 6CM, chasing Mark Gillies. And
likewise, Tom Dark started 2nd on the grid. He was 7th at the start of the 2nd lap, and he seems to have fallen back a few more places yet. So the Bugatti, great showing yesterday, but come race day, he's losing ground.
Now, can Callum Lockie bridge the gap back to our leader, Mark Gillies? Gillies leads 0.59 of a second in car number 12, 27. Lockie is 2nd. 7 Topliss is in 3rd place. Then we've got David Morris, calling him Martin, actually late father, who raced this car for many, many years. He is in 4th place in number 9. 5th is Michael Gans in the X-Tech Stephen Black ERA number 11. Then it's Duncan Ricketts going strongly in GP1, another of the ERAs. Tom Dark is there in 7th place, number 5, the Bugatti. Then it's Paddens Dowling, who is beginning to make his presence felt as he climbs up the order. They're quite long races, these. A 20-minute race, plenty of time for changes. And there on your screens, in front of Bruce, is Duncan Ricketts. Now, there's the MG Bellevue Special, unfortunately out of the race. Tom Hardman's MG, an early casualty.
Yeah, and what we're having, Gillies, Lockie and Topliss are starting to separate from each other. It was 1.5 seconds between Gillies and Lockie on the start-finish line, but then that battle, Morris is pulling clear in 4th, but Gans and Ricketts is a great little scrap, and I think that one's going to seesaw a fair bit. Is Lockie starting to close on Mark Gillies? I think he possibly could be, certainly with the fast corners.
Get the impression
very brave.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And this is the chase pack in behind, and it's David Morris, the ex-Team Lotus mechanic, leading Michael Gans, the US-born Swiss resident, and then behind him,
someone just coming towards the chicane, a lot of smoke out of their car. I don't know who's blown, but It could even be Tom Dark, because he's not puffing smoke, but he was very sideways coming out. Has he blown oil onto his own tyres?
Yes, he's dropped back, hasn't he?
Yeah, there we are in the Bugatti. Strangely finished after Ittori had met his end, but not raced in period, but going
Fastest
very well
lap of the race to Callum Lockie, ladies and gentlemen, number 27 in second place. So he is chasing down the leader very effectively, and he was about 0.3 quicker last time round. Still topless third. Morris is fourth. GANS on your screens there in the middle of those cars. The black car is in fifth place, and Ricketts is in sixth in the pale metallic green, sort of rather Mercedes-Benz-esque, isn't it, of the
yes,
era?
You hardly have to squint your eyes, and through the kink before St Mary's, definitely carrying more speed than GANS, and in turns GANS had been closing in on Morris. This one's going backwards and forwards, but all along ahead of them. Topless is being dropped, and Lockie getting closer and closer to race leader Mark Gillies. But a great little scrap, fourth, fifth and sixth, with Ricketts bringing up the rear in that low-line E-type ERA.
Absolutely right, and there is this battle between David Morris, Michael GANS. There is Duncan Ricketts in the car we were talking about. The car was designed as a Grand Prix contender. Just came out pre-war.
Well, Michael GANS making a move and making it stick. He goes past David Morris into fourth place. I thought that one was coming. I didn't know where it would happen, but down the left straight, more speed carried by Michael GANS, and number 11 ERA R1B up into fourth place. Yep,
and he's going well. He's a very, very versatile driver after a magnificent GT drive in his AC Cobra at the Silverstone Classic in July. Really has come of age, Michael GANS, and coming out of the pits, I think that's Geraint Lewis with the Fraser Nash monoposto. Background there on your screens. Now moving into the foreground is the Bugatti of Tom Dark.
Duncan Ricketts has gone into the pits.
Here's a replay of the start. You saw what an incredible getaway that was by Nick Topless, who forged his way through between Callum Lockie and Tom Dark. Very, very quick, just hooked up like a rocket, went through. And
he had a good 6 inches on either side, didn't he?
Yeah.
Plenty of space, but Ricketts has gone into the pits, so Tom Dark up into sixth place, but Mark Gillies, the last lap, 1 minute 31.5, super fast.
Andy Wolff was slow away in the V8 RI Maserati. So yes, Lockie now 3.5 seconds adrift. Topless third. GANS is in fourth place. We're back live on your screens. Morris demoted, as you saw on the screens, to fifth in number 9. Then Tom Dark with the demise of Duncan Ricketts. How many times has that car let him down over the years? It always appears to go well, then hits a little snag. Occasionally he's got it right. Oh, and a big slide out of the chicane that time for our leader, Mark Gillies.
Well, I do wonder if his attention was taken. I thought he'd picked his way through the first back markers he'd reached very tidily indeed, but it's almost as though he was just checking something, and that's unusual for Mark. He's super smooth at the wheel, but that was a big lurid moment as the pale green ERA came out of the chicane, and the gap, perhaps because he couldn't get the power down as he wanted, has come down now, 2.9 seconds. So Callum Lockie starting to close in, but I think the sheer speed is there for Mark Gillies. I do expect him to be able to edge further clear, because Callum's lap times are being up and down a little bit, but Mark Gillies, yes, this lap will be slightly affected too for its lap time, because not getting the power down meant he couldn't accelerate past the pits as he wanted, but he's going beautifully as he comes past me at St Mary's. And the battle for fourth place is hotted up again. More changes, because Morris is back ahead of GANS, and GANS in turn, as they come to the pit before St Mary, is fighting back.
It's GANS catching Topless.
I beg your pardon,
yeah,
quite right.
Yeah. So GANS now running with Topless, and would like a slice of third place as soon as possible would be good. Dowling coming up well in number 10, qualified third, the 1938 Australian Grand Prix winning car of Paddins Dowling.
Well, Paddins has recently passed Tom Dark, so I'm afraid the the Bugatti had got up to, easy to say MG with Tom Dark, isn't it? Had got up to sixth place, has fallen to seventh, but this battle, GANS is very much the driver on the move. He took 1.5 seconds out of Topless last time. Topless has been falling back after that super quick getaway, but now he's going to have to really concentrate in that blue ERA number 7 to keep the black 11 behind him, and again better speed out of the chicane. GANS maybe will make a move when they get to Madgwick. Let's have a look. He's lining up the inside run, doesn't decide to dip down the inside this time, but perhaps he's getting closer. Well, he's definitely getting closer and closer. Maybe the move will come at Ford Water. Let's wait and see.
Yes, he's certainly working hard. There's 22, another of the Fraser-Nash's in trouble. That's Burkhard List, and just being wheeled away to the safety of the paddock. Gillies by 4.4 seconds leads the way then, and Topliss leads by 0.3 of a second. The battle for third place. This is an opportunity. Andy Wolff in the Maserati, showing them past on the right-hand side. Andy Wolff's team prepares many of Michael Gans's cars, and in fact that Maserati is owned by Michael Gans. So seeing his own car as he came past to lap it.
Well, Nick Topliss actually gained a little bit of an advantage there, so Michael Gans will have to close in all over again. About a second between them as they run through the second part of Lavant, and then they'll kink onto the straight there. But Gans is definitely the hunter, and for the moment Topliss is the hunted. Let's see how this one shakes out.
Working lap 7 now, and Nick Topliss from Marsh Gibbon in Oxfordshire, just tucking through the chicane with Michael Gans up behind him, and R4A and R1B respectively.
The move has got to come soon. Certainly back markers are playing a little role ahead of this ERA duo, but Gans does seem to have the pace. A couple of times as they come to back markers, he's lost a bit of momentum, has the ability to close it up in this great battle for third place. Nick Topliss in number 7, holding on though.
Padden Stowling just lurking outside the top. He's dropped back behind Tom Dark again, hasn't he, Padden Stowling? So yeah, I suspect all's not well.
Yeah, because last lap Dark suddenly closed in again, was right on his tail as they went through St Mary's, so he gained a fair few seconds. And looking at Padden's lap time, yeah, 1 minute 41 last time. That's way off the pace he should be running.
Topliss and Gans continue their battle. Martin Morris no longer anywhere near David Morris. I do apologise. I saw Martin race that car so many times over the years, and knew him well. Lovely guy who taught disabled people how to drive in his latter years. Had a lovely demeanour about him, and inspired so many young drivers to find independence through driving. And his lad drives the car very well. He's won many Vintage Sports Car Club Sim Trophy races with that car, continuing the family tradition. And a problem there, Barry Williams in the Parnell MG. Yes. Oh, and remonstration from Michael Gans, having lost out in that tussle with the blue area of Nick Topliss, and got an interesting wave, shall we say, from Barry Williams.
He said you can do that once but not twice, or something to that effect. But anyhow, the Parnell MG long since dropped behind him. Michael Gans in the 1500cc ERA has got to do it all over again to close in on David Morris ahead of him. He has the speed to do it, but every time they get to traffic he seems to have lost out. But certainly that moment going around the Parnell MG had to come right off the power, and that has given a little bit of breathing space to Nick Topliss.
Certainly has. There's Sean Danaher's Maserati 8CM. It has expired. No one knows more about preparing Maseratis than Sean. He's based up in Suffolk, but it's let him down today, as these things are wont to do at some point.
Well, we haven't seen Mark Gillies circulating for a while on the big screens, but he was about 7 seconds clear of Callum Lockie, the number 12 ERA, doing very nicely indeed. And let's not just only talk about the drivers up at the sharp end, because there's some fabulous cars in the field. And Julian Majoub in that Alfa Romeo 308C, just such a beautiful car to look at. Ex-Raymond Sommer, ex-Wimille, ex-Varzi Alpha Works car, and it just looks magnificent, Marcus.
Yes, Julian had a lot of wins here in the early days in the 500cc Formula 3, the days of the revival. But the big Alpha has been sort of there or thereabouts a couple of times over the years. It was third back in 2006 with it, but the ERA is going so well these days, and the quickest Maseratis that tend to leave the big Alpha behind. That arrived at exactly the wrong time when motor racing pretty much stopped in Europe. And look at this, we've got Michael Gans now back up to Nick Topless, and they're preparing to lap Charles McCabe in the ex-Vera car. McCabe has a half spin, goes off onto the grass. That was a bit of a frightener for Topless and Gans.
Well, and for McCabe, I'd suggest, I think he just very gently looked in his mirrors to check where they are. I think he clipped the curb on the inside and round it went. So that was a big moment. He could have taken both of them out in trying to do the gentlemanly thing. But anyhow, battle rejoined as, again, we have Michael Gans closing in on Nick Topless. His battle seems to be going on almost since the start of the race. And let's have another look.
See what happened.
Down into Lavin, minding his own business, and a readjustment there for Topless, because spinning on the inside goes that super famous ex-Prince Chula car Remus. Luckily no damage done, but that was a moment in Lappery that they won't really enjoy.
Yeah, Prince Chula bought it for his cousin Bira, and ran it for Bira all over. And we've got two cars in together, one Alpha and one Fraser Nash arriving below by the looks of things. But another fastest lap a couple of laps ago from Gillies, and he really is way clear now to the tune of 7.7.
Well, you know
seconds.
what, Marcus, I think it was more than that, and it's come down because his last lap was a 1:37, whereas Callum Lockie 1:34.2.
It's probably his fastest lap. He was 10 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah. So let's just check Mark Gillies, the race leader's lap time this time around. About 5 seconds off his best lap. That's quite a lot. I don't think there's a problem, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that.
He's found some traffic, hasn't he? What's that? Looking, I saw something under one of the cars, but probably mistaken. They're working their way, those two. Topless in 7, Gans in 11, round 11th corner. Up ahead of them, Callum Lockie with the Maserati, number 27. He probably doesn't know that the team boss and car owner is out of the race. Into the last 3 minutes of this race now.
Well, Lockie was so bold in the early first lap of the race, nipping and tucking, and he made his mistake at St Mary's. The track's still slightly greasy, ran wide, and that enabled Mark Gillies to get away in the lead of the race. But certainly very exciting opening lap.
Behind the Turbo Largo of the 4.5 litre Turbo Largo of Dr. Klaus Lehr, going up past this. It was Klaus Lehr who came out of his Maserati here last year, I think it was. Rather dramatically, was ejected from it at Madrid corner, but he was absolutely fine. It was really amazing. And here we go. Now they're in traffic again, and this time it's to the benefit of Michael Gans, who's into the slipstream, goes to the right, going down towards Fordwater. They popped out from behind Rob Newell in the 8-cylinder Maserati, but look at that. Gans doesn't quite have the urge to get past there. Looks to the outside, tries to cut in on the fast kink before St Mary's. And back to you, Bruce.
Almost at my feet, it's still Gans doing the chasing. Topless staying ahead, very sideways from Gans through St Mary's. Spectacular. I love watching it, but that won't have helped his progress. He's got the car balance, so down to Laventon. Topless, who made that amazing start from the second row to take the lead of the race, holds on yet longer. I think he could do this the whole way to the checkered flag.
They're going past the V8 RI again. So for the second time in the race, Michael Gans has seen his other car in the hands of Andy Wolff, who a couple of weekends ago was third in historic Formula 1 races in a Tyrrell at Zandvoort. Leader goes on to what will be his last lap, so he's done 13. Gans did his personal best last time round.
Well, I don't think we have to worry too much about race leader Mark Gillies. He's down into the 1:33s again, so it really was traffic and caution that let him do the 1:37 on the previous lap. So Lockie crosses the line, 14.7 seconds down, and then less than half a second between third and fourth. Topless in number 7, holding off Michael Gans in 11. This is the last lap.
Working
Has he
their
done
way
enough?
past the Bugatti Type 59 of Charles Neal Jones. And what can Michael Gans do to grab that last podium position? He's fighting, but these cars are 80 years old, running nose to tail, flat out round the back of Goodwood Sweeps.
Topless just seems to have enough in hand to control the situation through Ford Water, bottle up Gans behind him. Gans has been quite slidey through St Mary's, this time much tidier. He'll carry more momentum out of the corner into the dip. A little bit of a twitch though, too keen to put all the power down to Lavant for the final time. Not in position to make a move up at the inside in the first part of the corner, or indeed from the second. There is something flapping under the number 7, Marcus, you were quite right. I don't think it's going to be slowing Topless, but there is something flapping under the car.
They come down. Here's our leader coming down into the chicane for the final time, and it's going to be Mark Gillies once again in ERA R3A. He's delighted with that one. A great win for the Dick Skipworth owned car, owned by Dick Skipworth, trained by James Ricketts, and ridden by Mark Gillies most effectively. And up to the checkered flag then, in second place comes Callum Lockie, a gallant second. He was the pole man this weekend. And third and fourth coming in together, so close. There was nothing that, in the end, that Michael Gans could do to displace Nick Topless, and Michael waving to the marshals and spectators up there, and Nick Topless too.